We're here at the Honolulu State Capitol building at a rally against the PLDC. Someone blowing the pool. I'm gonna try and let you see what's going on and maybe talk to the people. Getting a lot of support here. People from Keep Country, Keep the Country Country. From Local 5. You guys are live on the internet.
Talk to the people. Let's not be self-conscious.
Yeah, that's, let me ask why you guys are out here and what do you think about the PLDC?
I think they're mortgaging the future for the children and the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren and so forth.
Is that what brings you out here?
Yes, I'm a teacher, and I'm a preaching teacher about the need to think much further ahead and save what's left if we haven't already overdeveloped and overextended our carrying capacity in Hawaii. We should be a model of sustainability for the entire world, and it's desecrating a beautiful landscape in the name of short-term profit. Really bad stuff.
Thank you. Your name, if you want to leave your name.
My name is John, and I'm a public school teacher.
Great. Thank you. Anybody want to... Well,
I just want to say that I'm here in support of the Hawaiians and farm agricultural land staying as ag land and not being taken over by developers, and the state does not need to be helping them do their dirty work.
Thank you. You want to leave your name?
Laura Gray.
Laura Gray. Thank you. Here's Bart, never at a loss for words. Anything to say? Why are you here?
You want me to be succinct?
Well,
Hippie?
is it too much to ask? Probably. But
let me see if I can try. This brother over here has a good sign. Public land, public input. Okay? I think what the PLDC is it represents the establishment, political and economic establishment that control the people or the lands and resources of Hawaii are fed up with the encumbrances that people have devised over the years in the form of planning regulations, public hearings. They want to cut through all of that kind of regulation and make it easier to make profits by using the resources, in this case the public lands of Hawaii. And in the past, when Linda Lingle was governor, she didn't see a need for an environmental impact statement for the super ferry. So then Neil comes in with the backing of a lot of environmentalists, and we think it's going to be better. But now he does with the PLC, he does even worse than Lingle. It's not just one project that doesn't have to have an EIS. It's virtually all public lands can be developed, even to the point of putting hotels or timeshares on it. And the only people who make the decisions are 5 unelected people who are picked by the political leadership and represent the business community rather than the people. And we have no right to input. They passed the law that way by sneakily gutting and replacing the legislation, not giving advance notice for public hearing. Then once they pass it, that's the routine they want to have for deciding major decisions on development of land in Hawaii. It's wrong, and I'm here to say it's wrong. We have to repeal the act.
that's great. Thanks, Bart. You must feel strongly about it because it's a hot day. It's really tough being out here on the sidewalk. Thanks a lot, Bart.
Okay, aloha.
Thanks. Anybody have anything to say? You're live on the internet here. Let me try and get this Free Hawaii sign. Step out here. Return stolen land. What does that mean? Translate.
Return the land that was stolen.
Return the land that was stolen. Anybody want to say why you're out here and what you think of the PL?
Speaking in front of the camera.
Yeah, but you can learn. You're live on the internet, so.
We're here to tell people that they need to repeal Act 55, which is the PLDC, Public Land Development Corporation. We don't want our land to be sold off to private corporations for development, and so we're here to support Aina, basically, and the freedom of Aina to be Aina.
Right. Thank you. You want to leave your name?
I'm Brandy.
Thank you, Brandy. Whoa. Anything you want to say to people? We're live on the internet at the moment.
Oh dear. I've been waiting papers all day, so I'm not very coherent right
It's
now.
all right. It's okay.
This is important. Please act.
Thank you. Thanks. You must feel strongly about it because it's very hot and uncomfortable out here. They wouldn't come out here unless you felt a compelling need.
Yes, no, I think it is really important, and it's one of those things where I think if we let too much time go off, it's like on this that we can't turn back the clock.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I see Craig here. You want to talk to Craig? You want to talk to people on the live on the internet? Tell us why you're here. I always catch this guy. No. Okay. I see
It works.
see a group here from Makavalu, organization. Tell me why you're out here. And
We're out here to advocate against PLDC. So we're protesting PLDC. We want it repealed. And we're here supporting Aina. So that's over here.
thank you. That was a good background too. That was a good little sound bit here. Last chance, you want to say something? Running away.
Repeal the PLDC.
All right.
The horrible misconception of democracy. Ridiculous.
Thank you. Let's see. Here is Chris Smith. Tell me why you're out here in the hot sun and what you think of the PLDC. What brings you out here?
Well, I don't like how they're trying to change what we've already have established. I think if you know the history behind what's happened, they've already developed over top of the native lands to begin with. And because of that development, they had to fill in a lot of our wetlands. Has really impacted the native species that's here in these areas, so we can have more agricultural lands. And now they're discussing about rebuilding and developing on top of the agricultural lands that we had to establish that ruined the ecosystem here in Hawaii. So basically what it is corporations just wanting to take over the land and just say, forget food sustainability, forget the ecosystem, forget the native species that's here, forget respect for the native rights, you know, and the heritage that's here, you know. I mean, you got to show some more respect for the culture that's around here. But you don't do that by just developing, and ruining all the lands around here. Animal Army made a statement saying that people here are misinformed, and that right there is offensive. You can't tell your public that they're misinformed if you're not willing to speak to them, then tell them why you even have the stance of what you have. You know, make them understand why you're doing this. So, I mean, for the people to this, that alone should be a red flag that something is wrong. If you're going to hide why you're doing this, why you're acting like this, or what your decisions are, you're probably up to something no good anyhow.
No, you're a candidate for office for the city council, I think, right?
Yeah, for District 6.
What can you do on the council that would affect PLDC, or is there anything you can?
Well,
you
know,
do?
the first thing is we have to. Well, like the subject that I don't like to talk about is we have to establish what's going on with the rail, right? Because the rail is what started where a lot of the people that's within District 6 that's running along with me, there's like 16 candidates, and a bunch of the rest of the politicians, they want to do this thing called urban sprawl, where they're going to develop and just eat up all the agricultural lands here. Well, I think the first thing that we need to do is where that rail is running along, we need to establish the agricultural land, state agricultural land. Like you hear this thing, a country. Well, that's fine and dandy, but we're losing we're just losing the whole environment here in our food sustainability. I think our first line of attack is making sure that our agricultural lands stay agricultural lands.
Okay.
Putting legislation through where it defines that and says that and makes it solid that no one can do anything to those lands, so we can try to rebuild our food sustainability is something that we need to do. And that would correct a lot of those issues. And then we could take on like things that APEC tried to bring about how it's trying to control our beaches, trying to keep the public from even working or enjoying or any of the native culture practices like surfing. You know, they're telling the surfers that they're not allowed to go to some of these beaches.
Right.
You know, we gotta. What is it, the CZM? We got to get to them and tell them, hey, no, we cannot allow this kind of stuff.
Right.
You know, Hawaii is known for its beaches, and now you're going to take the beaches away.
Right.
You know, so we need to, take and put in legislation that's going to make that public ground and stay public ground.
Great.
You know.
Now, if people want to know more about your position on issues, and you seem to have very unambiguous positions on stuff, where can they go? You have a website?
Yeah, if you go to www.votecsmith.com, or you can go to www.facebook.com/csmith 2012.
Great.
Vote C. Smith 2012.
Vote C. Smith 2012. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody have anything to say? They flagged me down. I'm taking interviews.
Representing Keiko Bonk, and she's totally opposed to the PLDC.
I'm going to interview her, and I honk for Bonk. And she's running for what? Tell me what she's running for.
House District 20, Pololo area, and she's running against Calvin Say, and it's time for a change. Calvin Say is in the hands of the wealthy, a lot of wealthy people, and Keiko's for everyone.
Great, thank you. I see Dean here. Tell me what brings you out in the hot sun. What do you think of the PLDC, and what do you think you can do about it?
We need to repeal it. We need to get rid of it. I don't even know where to start. But we definitely don't need to amend it, because there's way too many things wrong with it. We've got sovereignty issues involved with the land. We've got corruption issues. We've got representation issues because the outer islands are not represented on this board. No bid contracts, that screams corruption. And we got constitutional issues with private property owners, and where the state can come on and say, hey, we're going to install this, and if you don't like it, they're going to install it, connect in, and then charge you for the upgrades. And if you don't pay it, they can take your land. And then there's no grievance procedures. There's so many things wrong with this legislation that I don't even know where to start.
Great, thank you. Now, what are you running for, and how do we find more about your position on issues? Do you have a website? Or
my website is www.facebook.com, Dean Kalani Capiluto. Again, Dean Kalani Capiluto. I'm running for State Senate, District 20 in Papule, Makakilo, Namwang, Waipabo, Corona Village, and Kalalo.
Great. Thank you much.
Thank you.
Anyone have anything to say? You're live on the internet. What brings you out into the hot sun?
Well, history. If you study history, the PLDC will remind you of the East India Company.
Oh, that's interesting.
The British East India Company, which was formed in the year 1600 by the Queen of England, a private multinational corporation, in reaction to the Pope saying that Portugal gets one half the world and Spain gets the other half.
Right.
So as a reaction, she created a multinational corporation called the British East India Company, or the East India Company, and she hired a bunch of businesses to start this venture. So hired a bunch of mercenaries who had no problem committing atrocities, raping, killing, babies, because they're getting paid. Do you hear about India being colonized by England? No, they were not colonized by England. They were colonized by a multinational corporation
That's right.
Formed in the year 1600 before Europeans even came to Hawaii.
That's right.
And
That's
then they did
really
the same thing
interesting.
again with the Virginia Company to conquer North America.
And the PLDC is a public land, yet private corporations.
A corporation created by the government.
By the government. That's really interesting. Thanks much. You want to tell us your name or anything?
Corporations don't exist. The definition of a corporation is a legal fiction, and if it's a fiction, it doesn't exist.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's actually correct. That's really interesting. Very unique point of view, and I didn't even think of it. But now that you mention it, it makes a lot of sense, man. Thank you. Anything you want to say?
Alright. I think so.
Okay. Flag me down if you have anything to say. You'll be live on the internet. Last sign on this island. You want to tell me why you're out here? What brings you out into the hot sun, and what do you think?
Oh, sure. Well, I'm really concerned about the PLDC. I think that, it's a real problem if we start selling off or even developing state-owned lands without proper public input, and I really think that that's what's happening here. I really think they're removing a lot of the public's right to have a say, where they would normally be able to talk about concerns in like SNA permits, other kinds of permits like that.
Right.
If we don't have those kinds of opportunities, how can we be assured that the development's going to happen responsibly? I already think that a lot of development is not happening responsibly right now.
Now, are you representing someone? Are you running for office? Are you a private citizen?
Well, I'm here representing Unite Here Local 5.
Local 5, okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you much.
Sure.
You want to leave your name or any information?
Yeah, my name is Ben Sadowski.
Great. Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you.
We're going to head out.
No public land development corporation.
They
Good.
purposely made it long
The
so
law.
it cannot fit on the sign.
Make it hard to fit on, but you fit it on the sign. You want to tell us why you're out here in the hot sun? What brings you out?
I'm really alarmed at this Act 55 that established the Public Land Development Corporation, and it's exempt from land use and zoning laws, and those laws are there to protect those lands, and without them there's no protection. They can conduct an environmental impact statement, but it's not gonna be, who's gonna adjudicate it if they're gonna approve it because it's a partner corporation, So it was like a Trojan horse. They snuck it in, and it's very dangerous, and Abercrombie keeps downplaying its seriousness. But the problem is that, he says it's to repair schools and things like that, but it's actually very open, and anything is possible. When you're exempt from those kinds of land use and zoning laws, anything is possible. They can develop any and all of the ceded lands. There's no safeguards for...
In fact, they specifically mention resorts, parking structures,
right.
power
Benign
stations,
things,
like that.
supposedly benign things. But the law is written for an indefinite future, and so,
Right.
there's nothing to safeguard it. Even for the people who are going to be making those kinds of decisions now, there's no safeguarding what kinds of things, what kinds of projects they're going to engage in.
Right.
So I'm very concerned. We need to repeal Act 55. We need to repeal the Public Land Development Corporation.
Great, thank you. You want to give your name? You don't have to.
Candace Mujikane.
Great.
At the University of Hawaii.
University of Hawaii. Thank you very much. Let me get your sign. And I'm going to walk over here. Hi, you're live on the internet. You want to tell us who you are and why you're out here in the hot sun?
My name is Lancelot Haile Lincoln. I'm the representative of Kamehameha 1. I'm out here to repeal Act 55. I'm also running for the office of Hawaiian Affairs at large seat.
At large seat.
We need new leadership. We need it now. Vote for me. Lincoln for Oa. Mahalo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'll show your sign. We are at the State Capitol building. Honolulu, Hawaii. There's a pool around the Capitol building to symbolize the ocean. These concrete pillars are supposed to look like palm trees. We have more people here, so I'm going to walk over and see if I can get some interviews with people. I see Keiko Bong, Green Party candidate for House from the Palolo area. Here's Keiko Bonk. I'm going to try and get a word with her in a moment. In the meantime, I'll show you the people out here. It's not a holiday generally here. It's not a state holiday. It's Columbus Day or Discoverers Day in other places. State of Hawaii traded Discoverers Day for Martin Luther King Day years ago, leaving October with no holiday. But so it is a work day with probably not a good time to call me. I usually forward my phone calls, and I forgot to do that. So we just got cut off, and we are back now. A lot of support for repealing the PLDC. As I was saying, we are live in front of the State Capitol building. I'm going to try and get an interview with Keiko Bong as soon as she's finished talking with somebody here. We have, it's a politically charged issue. You're live on the internet. You want to say a few words? Tell us why you're here and what you think of the PLDC.
Well, I think it's really interesting that we're having this rally on Indigenous Peoples Day.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even realize that.
Because the earth actually belongs to the people, and the earth belongs to all of us. And, you know, the more we do to the earth, we're making a debt that other generations are going to have to pay for. So we need to be really conscious and adopt that indigenous wisdom about 7 generations down. Every decision we make today has a huge impact. So I'm here because I think the PLDC was an undercover bill where the people really, when it was formed, the people never really had a chance to testify on it. It came out of the Senate, and then when it went to the Water Land Committee in the House, people didn't really seem that bad.
Right.
And then when it came out of that committee, it was really heavy, really bad. And then it went to Finance, and when it had a 2-hour notice, so people didn't even know that the hearing was going to happen. So they broke their own rules.
So you're saying it passed the dangerous language, and it passed on 2 hours public notice?
Yes. Yes, and that's a violation, because actually every bill should be noticed 48 hours. So they broke their own law, they passed this thing, and then in 2012 they were saying, oh, don't worry about it. Well, they were actually identifying lands that were going to be used. And we're saying, hey, wait a minute. You know, land, aina, it means I to be, na, the people. And we're saying if you don't nurture the land cannot nurture you, and the land is not a commodity.
Yeah.
So it is very insulting, and it's against all democratic principles what happened. And I'm Kat Brady, and I want to repeal the PLDC.
Thank you very much.
Thank
You think Henry would want to say something?
Yes, but I'm wasted today.
Okay. Well, I'll just show that you're here and you got a cool shirt on. Henry Peters, thank you.
How you doing? What's up?
Brother with the pool is here for all kinds of stuff. He's an activist. As I was saying, it's not a holiday here, it's a work day. And there are people out here in the hot sun. It's really hot and uncomfortable. Good place to have a demo because of the tour buses that come by. And hi, we're live on the internet. You're Keiko Bong, and tell me why you're here and what you think of the PLDC.
Thank you. Well, I'm here today with a lot of people throughout Hawaii, not just on this island, but the other islands, supporting the effort to repeal the PLDC. That was an act that went into law in 2011, forming a corporation, a semi-private organization to handle public resources, and that's land resources, but also other natural resources, which is not part of the intention of our democracy, is to have private entities manage public things, public good. And so pretty much the concept of it I oppose in all ways, but we already have established in Hawaii processes for people to participate in developing public land and other kinds of development. And so those are being bypassed by this organization to fast-track projects that haven't been spelled out for the public, but are mysteriously talked about by various legislators and our governor. And it's very dangerous because you have a body of 5 people, 3 of whom could probably make the decision in a majority to do large developments in ag land. They could take over shorelines. They could go and bypass environmental protection laws, and they could just start to turn Hawaii into a fast-track development state that echoes, some of our bad practices from the past. We had no laws in place to curb rampant urban sprawl, and all of the urban sprawl that we pretty much have already. We've been trying to catch up to infrastructure problems and natural resource really disasters in terms of degradation for my whole lifetime. And here we go, adding more burden to things we can't even correct at this point in our state's history. So I think it's a mess. We're bringing a mess on top of a mess to the people of Hawaii, and it's an insult because you just don't have 5 political appointees, one who is one of the most wealthy real estate speculators in Hawaii, Dwayne Kurisu, deciding things for the public. You just don't do it. I mean, he can go and decide things for himself in his personal businesses for, Kurisu and Burgett, but there's no way you can put people like that in charge of our public good, because they cannot, they have conflicts of interest, deep conflicts of interest. So it really is stabbing the people in the back in terms of land use development, and really just going to add to the displacement of people that can't afford housing already, displacement of more species. We already have the most extinction in the world, displacement of habitat for, all these species that we're having problems with, adding much more burden than a rail project onto infrastructure problems, causing so many more problems. It's just ridiculous.
Now you have a lot of unambiguous and clear points of view on a lot of the issues. Where can someone find more information about you and your issues and your campaign?
You can go to keikobonk.com.
keikobonk.com. That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you very much. Aloha. Thank you.
In front of the state capitol building here. A good place really to have a protest. You can see a lot of tour buses and whatnot coming by. It's a work day. It's not a holiday here. Hawaii traded Columbus Day or Discoverer's Day for Martin Luther King Day years back. So considering it's a work day, a lot of people here. I want to sign off for now. Thanks much for joining us. And I think I'll sign off on the seal here, hanging from the Capitol building. Thanks much. I might cut in later, depending on what happens. At any rate, this will get archived in several places, including my YouTube channel, the YT Doug. Okay. Talk to you later. Thank you.